Hi, I'm Antonio, owner of Economy Moving and Storage. The first thing that we're going to do here is learn how to pad wrap a Loveseat or a sofa. Both are pretty much the same way. We've already taken off the one side. This side comes off, and I want to show how that comes off. It slides up out of here. All that it is these little pins. Sometimes you need a flathead screwdriver or a wrench or something like that. Just pull those pins apart and this slides right off. As you can see, I have the Loveseat on top of two boxes. The reason I do that is it's easier for me to pad wrap it and shrink wrap it when I'm done. When you're pad wrapping, you always want to keep in mind how it's going to be transported. In this case, we've taken the tops, the backs of the seats off the Loveseat, which makes it easier to fit through the doorways. So now, when you dolly it, you're going to dolly it from the side. So you always want to keep that in mind, so that way when you pad this side up, or that side, it doesn't bunch up. So all we're going to do from here is pretty simple. Take a pad, and you always pad with the dark side facing out, and the light side facing in. And what that does is it allows you to keep your pads clean on the inside, so whatever it's touching on the piece itself is going to stay clean. And the dark side of the pad will absorb all of the dirt and debris that comes from the move. Okay, so with your top pad already in place, all you're going to do is kind of tape this pad on the whole figure. And then you're going to bring your next pad up. So you don't need a whole lot of tape here. Just a little tiny bit. The less tape, the better. Now, on most pieces, when you pad wrap, you're going to utilize rubber bands. Any kind of leather or pleather even, you want to use tape because the bands will indent the leather and take some time to come out. It usually comes out, but sometimes it doesn't. It's good practice to use tape. The only thing that you have to worry about is the sticky side of the tape can sometimes get onto that leather and it will peel off. So it's important that any tape that's showing the glue side, fold that up so it's not going to get pushed in and taped up against the side. So in this case, right here is where you would want to bunch the tape so that way none of the sticky side is going to get on the leather. So you just kind of crease your corners so it's all nice and neat, put your sides in, and then we're going to wind up folding this bottom up. Okay, so now once we have the sides kind of in place, all we're going to do is pull the corner up, and our goal is to completely cover the side of the Loveseat or sofa, whatever it is that you're doing. And all this takes is a little bit of tape to hold that up. A little bit of tape here. Okay, once you get to the back of the piece, just tuck all your corners nice and neat. Okay, now you're ready for shrink wrap. Didn't use a whole lot of tape. It doesn't take a lot of time. You're basically just getting the pad on the piece to where it's going to stay and keep the piece protected. Now, if you can see here, before we shrink wrap it, it's going to be nice and flat. So when we put it on the side and we dolly it, it's not going to be lopsided. That's what you want to avoid when you're pad wrapping. You always want to look at the piece that you're pad wrapping, say it's a triple dresser, single dresser, sofa, it doesn't matter, whatever it is. That's how you want to think about when you're pad wrapping, how is it going to be transported to the truck. Okay, so once you get the piece on its side, you can either choose to shrink wrap around it, or a few pieces of tape will hold the shrink wrap. That way, if you do have to carry it for some reason, the shrink wrap won't slide up on you like this as you're carrying it. Best practice, grab a dolly, get it from the front or the back, either or. The weight's all going to be towards the recliner end, the bottom, because this one has a metal frame. And that's one of the reasons why we diaper padded this piece, because that way we don't have to worry about the metal frame banging on the doorways going in or out of the building. Get it from the front, dial it yourself. Never really had to pick this piece up, and you're going to be a whole lot more efficient than picking it up with 2 people and carrying it all the way to the truck. Okay, the tops to our Loveseat, we want to make sure they are, this piece is going to not get wrinkled. So what we're going to do, everything, 90% of the pieces that you pad wrap, they're going to start off at an angle. And as you get used to pad wrapping, you'll decide what's going to work best. But what we're going to do is we're just going to do our top side in, fold the sides in. Every fold that you do needs to be crisp and tight. This is a proper fold. It's nice and neat, nice and tight. Now just watch what I did here. I see a lot of guys do this. They just fold like that, and then this part gets pulled out and eventually winds up coming loose. All you do is a simple tuck in right there and a fold, and that holds it so much tighter in the long run. One piece of tape right across. There's no need to go all the way around. If you tape it right, that way on the other end, when it comes time to take the tape off at destination, it's as simple as that. Tuck in our corners, and that's it. That way on the other end, when it comes time to unpad this item, one piece of tape, goes right back on the piece.